Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to tackle the brakes on our Ducati 696 project. When you have a bike like this that's been sitting for several years, it is always a good investment of your time to go through the braking system. Not only is it for your safety, but it's also recommended by the Ducati dealership. So let's take a look at what we have. That brake liquid should not look like that. It should be clear. So we're gonna flush that out in the rear. Up in the front, it's also pretty black. Shouldn't be like that. And I have zero brake pressure on the handles. So, all bad things. We're gonna flush this liquid out. It's DOT4. We're gonna go through the flushing process and try to get the air out of the front brake. And the rear brake has functioned, but we have to flush it out because it's pretty disgusting. So let's start with it. We're gonna start with the front. Brake fluid is a nasty liquid, so make sure you have plenty of rags, wear gloves, and wear safety gear. We're gonna get started by taking the cover off of the reservoir and seeing what we gotta do. You may or may not have this particular master cylinder, but the principles of bleeding is the same. You build up pressure in the handle, you have a drain tube, and then you slowly press it through and then close it before you let go. So build pressure, bleed, tighten, and then let go. And what you're doing is building pressure and hopefully forcing the air out. So I'm already getting really good pressure on the master cylinder here. And I'm just gonna repeat. When you're doing this, you're taking fluid out of the closed system. So you're gonna wanna keep topping this off. And that's essentially what we're gonna be doing to flush out the old fluid into the new, for the new stuff. And then I'm just gonna rinse and repeat. But this is a first. There's chunks in my master cylinder. I have never, ever seen chunks in the brake cylinder. It's breaking apart. I have no idea what this is. So this is where the transition is happening. Old brake fluid, you can see that darkness, and newer brake fluid, which is clear. So it's working. That's gross. That's not bad, and that's fresh. Now that I've gotten pressure up here, I'm gonna continue my brake and flush towards the lower end of the calipers. If you don't have this type of brake master cylinder, this next portion will be definitely pertaining to you, since you have to bleed those anyway and flush them out. I'm gonna be honest, guys, this is the worst I've ever seen brakes. This is completely almost red down here. It's thick. The brake master cylinder has a hard time compressing it, and it's pretty gross. This is in desperate need of a flush. Oh, it's like almost solid. That side is done. We're gonna do the exact same thing on this side. Okay, we're all done with the front now. I've got the cap on. It was genuinely disgusting. That's one of the worst brake jobs, brake flushes I've done before. But the master cylinder pressure feels really good. I flushed all the gross fluid out of it. It's now time for the rear, which is similar process. Open the cap. I'm gonna press onto the brake pedal and bleed out the back. Brake, bleed, until I see that fluid go through and fresh fluid come out of here. Let's do it. So as you can see, the brakes aren't really that bad. Having fresh brake fluid in your bike is life or death situation when you need it. So make sure you do it. And this bike had some of the worst brake fluid I have ever taken out of a motorcycle. Besides the color, it felt felt solid, like it was made out of pudding. It was oozing, it was coming out of the bleed screw like pudding. It was really odd. I'm really glad to get this junk out of this Ducati. And so let me show you guys what I have for us next. So replacement 7/8 bar end for my clip-ons, or my Woodcraft clip-on triple clamp. Some new foot pegs, so that'll be nice. I'm gonna replace both left and right, even though I only need to do one. And my new bar end mirrors. The reason I had new bars, as I mentioned before, is that this is bent. So you see how that's angled? And that's what causes this hole. I still need to get all of these panels fixed. So we'll start with the bars, then the pegs. Oh man, that was defeating. These little things are so hard to get into. My knuckles were just being banged up by the spring, trying to line it all up. So yeah, it's over. Both pegs are now on. I've got good pegs on the bike. Got new handlebars. I'll put the mirrors on later. Overall, we're making really good progress in getting the bike on the road, but as one of you guys mentioned, it will not hit the road until we do the valve adjustment and the timing belt. Unfortunately, those parts are on the way, so in the meantime, we'll be tackling maintenance and aesthetics. Which, speaking of aesthetics, I want to show you guys a little sneak peek of some parts that came in. So I'll do a full detailed review of these parts and hopefully put them on next time. So until then, see ya.